there's been calls that we need corona bonds in the U.S. I say we have 2-year, 5-year, 7-year, 10-year, and 30-year, and a Treasury and a Fed that can print a lot of debt, and there seems to be many willing buyers. We don't need them here, but there's a place I think that needs them really bad, and that is Europe. How is Europe going to pay for all the cradle-to-grave services in addition to try to help some of these economies like Italy control the coronavirus when they have so much debt and so little ways to generate new debt?
Right, but it's a great question. What European countries, European policymakers need to figure out is a way to stimulate growth, provide for a recovery within the institutional constraints of Europe. And corona bonds are one option and something that we think European policymakers should be looking at. But some of this is happening already. I think that's important to stress through the ECB. The ECB is buying the already issued bonds and essentially mutualizing a lot of this debt through its own balance sheets. It buys the bonds, it issues euro notes on the other side, which are a liability of the whole euro area. So to some extent, this is already happening through the ECB's balance sheet. Corona bonds would take us one step further, provide another means to support the economy through the crisis. But I think it's important to recognize that European policymakers are doing a lot, and so we're somewhat encouraged by those steps so far.
Well, Zach, you know, you said that the ECB can buy paper. I get that. So they can put grease in the gears. But our Treasury and our Fed is doing a whole lot more than putting grease in the gears. They're underpinning whole industries. That's what I'm talking about. Who's going to underpin that? For example, France. You take out all the tax collections in France. What's going to support the system? The bank's best customer, municipalities.
Right. So I would say it's not just about Europe either. When we look at this crisis, we often look at the United States, and the United States has a luxury of being able to issue huge amounts of debt with very little cost in terms of market yields. Many countries just don't have that ability, and I think to some extent Europe is in that camp, especially peripheral Europe, although the ECB is doing what it can to help. But many other countries, especially in emerging market economies, have the same problem. So we have fiscal capacity constraints throughout the world, and that's going to be a key problem in figuring out a way to get out of the crisis. We really hope that the virus itself can be controlled such that countries can stimulate with the resources that they have available. But you're right, Europe does have these fiscal constraints, as well as many emerging market economies. The U.S. really has a luxury that other economies don't in that regard.